Hello, this is PG. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Palworld. The game is currently in early access on PC and Xbox. Palworld is an action-adventure survival game developed by Pocket Pair. In Palworld, you play as a unique character who has to craft, gather resources, build a home, but more importantly, capture and tame pals to aid you in your quest. So what's it like to play? Well, first things first, you can create a unique character, although the options I would say are not extensive. Anyway, being a survival game, the early stages are what you'd expect. Walk around in your underpants, pick up sticks, stones, other stuff, craft basic tools and weapons. Then you can chop a tree down, you can hit some rocks and you can start work on your first home. Now this brings me onto the building system. On the surface, it seems straightforward, but I found it to be quite restrictive when building near objects in the game world. You can build a house, you can build various crafting stations, a campfire to cook your supper, but doing all of this on your own, I'd say, is quite boring. Thankfully, this is where pals come in. Pals are the creatures that roam the game world, and these creatures can all be tamed. Now, if you're thinking of taming in games like Ark, that take about 10 years to tame a bloody bird, it's not that at all. Taming is quick and it is seamless. Find a pal, fight them, weaken them, throw a magic ball at them and wait for the taming to complete. Job done. Once tamed, you can assign your pal to either be an ally to help you in combat, or you can send it home and it can complete chores in your absence. Pals level up too, and they've also got unique abilities that can be very useful at your base, like watering your crops or fueling the fire in a forge. In terms of combat, the pals help a lot as well, often turning the tide when you're fighting large groups of enemies or even the tricky boss battles. Now in terms of your loadout, you can equip armor, items or melee or ranged weapons. As you fight bigger foes, your character will level up. Leveling up gives you technology points. These can be used to unlock complex schematics. Now, these schematics cover things like gliders, saddles for riding animals, many other unique items as well. You get stat points that you can allocate to your health, your carry weight. Okay, finally on gameplay, let's talk about the game world. It's broken down into the kind of usual biomes. You've got snow, you've got deserts, you've got forest, etc. Each one's got a different impact on your character. You know, you might require different clothing, but I would say the open world does feel a bit unfinished because this is early access and it does feel it in some of the areas. In terms of graphics, reminiscent I would say of games like Fortnite in terms of the world, the colour palette, the character design. But it's got very good user interface, very accessible, good fonts, clean menus, very unusual for a survival game because they're usually absolute trash. Sound, it's mixed. Sound effects are very good, but there's a real distinct lack of music on the whole. It feels almost silent most of the time. Okay, the good and the bad points. What's good? Pals make everything easier and more fun. Taming is fast and straightforward. The weapons are enjoyable. Presentation is slick and user friendly, and the pals skills make for some cool moments. Bad points: there's a lack of music, it's boring after a while, and the game world feels unfinished. Okay, verdict: Palworld is a survival game with a difference, with that difference being fun. Most games in this genre, they're quite mind-numbing. They have that loop: get your resources, craft stuff, build stuff, repeat, yawn. Now Palworld, don't get me wrong, it has that too, but it has the pals who help you with all of this boring rubbish, and it makes the game feel more alive, and it also gives you a sense of companionship when you're out on the road. Now it's not perfect, there are parts of the game that are sparse, unfinished, it's very much in early access, but on the whole, Palworld I'd say is a fun, enjoyable survival game that will appeal to a much wider audience than most games in this genre. Is it worth buying now? Well, I would probably say wait for the 1.0 release because at the moment it's still quite rough. I played it for about 15 to 20 hours and then I just stopped because I didn't want to kill it and ruin the game for myself for the future, but definitely one I will keep my eye on. So scoring, it's difficult to score early access, but I'd say Palworld's probably about an 8 out of 10 at the moment, possibly going up to a 9 when it's finished. But yeah, there you go. That's the review. Thanks for watching. Cheers.